Greetings, fellow Cameroonians at home and abroad. This is Chairman Capo Daniel of PRAP. Issa Tchiroma have changed his position or flip-flop, whatever you choose to call it. He has taken a new stance, and we want to bring this to your attention that in the latest video which we are going to play, Issa Tchiroma have come and taken a complete different turn, which we respect, and we continue to support his campaign. So I am Capo Daniel, and I'm the chairman of PRAP. So today we want to unpack a major shift in position by President-elect Issa Tchiroma Bakari. His stance have dramatically changed, and we want to point that to our population for public accountability, and also so that people are informed on how things are evolving. Using his own words, we want to show how the position have evolved, and to explain to our people the timeline. As you can see on the screen here is the letter titled Letter to the Nation that was published by Issa Tchiroma on his official pages. We were also given a copy when it was published. We are the communication leader of Issa Tchiroma's movement, Metro Alizinkom, also published this letter. The letter is titled Letter to the Nation, where Issa Tchiroma was very, very clear. He's very clear in this letter about his commitment to non-violence. He said that he's committed to non-violence because we were all expecting some action after the 48-hour deadline he gave Ultimatum to BIA. But in his letter, Issa Tchiroma said, and I quote him, "I ask you to resist, yes, but to resist with dignity. Do not fall in the trap of violence." That is a letter Issa Tchiroma sent, asking people not to fall into the trap of violence, that violence will be a trap for Cameroonians that the regime clearly wants, which is something we agree with. In this letter, Issa Tchiroma also said that the terrain, in the language, he said that his language was grounded on emphasizes on justice, light, peaceful courage, etc. He also made it clear that he does not want to forcefully overthrow the Cameroon government. That is what he said in this letter that was published, which we had made a complete segment on it, and we have also adjusted our policy towards a change in Cameroon, having this into consideration. Issa Tchiroma said in this letter that power is in the people's hand, and that no degree, presidential degree or whatever, can ever silence the voice carried by millions of Cameroonians. So after this letter, giving into consideration the fact of the things we know have been happening behind the scene, we in the People's Right Advocative Platform, we saw this stance as one of embracing a peaceful resistance or a peaceful campaign to fight for power and probably focus on the future of Cameroon while maintaining the posture that Issa Tchiroma won the election. And we were ready to now move forward to focus on the upcoming election because of this position taken by Issa Tchiroma. We believe he has ruled out in this letter any possibility of escalation in any shape or form. And with the called intervention of the United States of America, we believe the ground was now clear for Issa Tchiroma to return back in Cameroon and focus on moving the people forward. But now, we look at the latest message Issa Tchiroma have put out, which is a video message, which we are going to play. In this video message, Issa Tchiroma have declared a national day of mourning and a nationwide shutdown. He said in this video, which we are going to play, which I quote, "I will not betray. I will not back down. I will not negotiate. We do not negotiate with dishonorable people." So this wordings he used in this latest video contradicts the previous message he put out in writings, and we must take this into consideration. He also said that he has observed, perhaps he observed the reactions of Cameroonians to this letter and this approach, and people have pushed back and said that no, we cannot back down, we must continue to whatever end. So this is a complete shift of his position, his previous position that was open to negotiation and dialogue. So he is now presenting a more defiant and uncompromising stand. Whether you like it or not, our job, part of our job, which we have taken this mantle, is to present to you a balanced view, complete information, unbiased, because we believe you deserve this service that we don't get in most platforms in our country. So we are here to bring you this information, the analysis, and tell you the consequences so that you can make up your own mind. So what does this mean for us? We need to recognize that Issa Tchiroma's position has evolved, where he emphasizes non-violence and let the door open for negotiation, which we have seen the international community kind of support, with trying to create conditions for him to return back home. Right now, the situation has changed. It has changed completely. So we are also debating amongst ourselves how to go about it, but we completely support Issa Tchiroma. We completely support the call for change. He, as a leader, has the sole discretion. He chooses who to listen to, which advisors surround him. We have put our own advice there, publicly and privately. And Issa Tchiroma has the right, ultimate right. He may succeed and he may not, but we are obligated to present this thing. So we must let our people see these quotes side by side and understand the strategy that has changed. We don't expect to understand everything Issa Tchiroma is doing. We don't expect him to come to the social media and explain all his plan, but we can see indications and do our own calculation to make our own conclusion. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we want to tell you about these changes and to tell that we completely support Issa Tchiroma. We are going to pass a resolution in the cabinet of PRAP to also support and participate in this National Day of Mourning that he has called on. He has asked for a minute of silence at noon on the 21st of this month, which is tomorrow, which we are going to do. He has called for public holiday. At home and abroad, we are going to follow him in that journey. So, but we must bring to you the analysis for public accountability and also to hold every leader, including Issa Tchiroma, accountability, because this is not just about him. It's about the life of all Cameroonians. Everybody, there is nobody who is at peace because of what is going on in our country. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring you the video so that we can look at it together. And you will see from the commentary that we have given.
My dear compatriot, ladies and gentlemen, a few days ago, I gave the illegitimate regime a 48 hours deadline to proceed with the immediate release of all political prisoners and arbitrary detainees. In that time, only small number among the thousands of detainees, mostly minor, who should never have been there, have been released from their cells. I take note of that. However, the gesture remains very insufficient. It is merely a masquerade aiming at deceiving our people. There are still many, far too many, in detention, and arrest continue. The regime has chosen to disregard this appeal, just as it has disregarded your votes, your voices, and even your life. Since then,
so Issa Tchiroma is saying, like when I know when I hear, say it be give 48 hours deadline. Since that time, she don't quiet. The regime then release on small people, including some picking the way they catch them, where it be very insignificant. So that one I just play for cover up, wait to wait it actually happen. It means that the Cameroon government it then but accept the ultimatum, they then decide for behave otherwise. So not just around and up for now.
I have remained silent. I have listened. I have observed. It is therefore my duty today to break this silence. I address you with seriousness, solemnity, and respect. On October 12, 2025, you spoke. You made your choice. And for daring to defend that choice, some Cameroonians have fallen under the bullet of a desperate regime. In their memory, in homage to their sacrifice and in fidelity to our common oath, in my capacity as a president-elect, I decided that Friday, November 21, 2025, as a National Day of Mourning.
So Issa Tchiroma declared the November 21st as a National Day of Mourning to pay tribute for all men wey they ran kill during the time when people did protest. And this is also a part of the strategy, because if you don't first call for ghost town, so we believe this is part of a strategy. We may anticipate what may happen on that day, because we believe the only way you can overthrow this government is by the use of force. Without that, you can't really overthrow the government, and you have to look for alternative. But if he's going in for this, he's going in for this. So this is what is unfolding. So we have to take note of this and also approach things in the light of this, because he has the support of the vast majority of Cameroonians, and he has the duty, he's standing on that duty to defend the election that people have voted for him, which he is rightfully has the right to do so.
This day will be a public holiday throughout the national territory. No businesses, no office, no administrative services should operate. This will not be an ordinary day.
So that day, he said, it's not going to be an ordinary day. He's very specific about what he expects people to do, what he expects people to engage in, but it is not going to be an ordinary day. We don't think it's just a day about tribute, because we already had the Ghost Town Day, which we believe was tribute to those who have fallen under the brutal cold hands of the Pobias regime. But this coming date is a very special day, and our advice for all Cameroonians is to stay at home. If you were expecting that there could be a military action against the Cameroon regime, or if you had speculated that would be a perfect time for something to happen. So we will advise people not to travel. We will advise people to stay at home and observe this day, which is rightfully a day that the leader, the president-elect, have called on all Cameroonians at home and abroad to observe this day. So to be on the safe side, we should observe this day. We are not personally advocating for violence or anything, but when the leader of a movement speaks out like this, and in a conflict where there is a possibility of Issa Tchiroma to lead a violent or military takeover of power to install the people's will, then we are obligated to tell people to take this coming day very seriously.
It will be a day of silence, remembrance, and reflection. I invite you to observe a minute of silence exactly at noon, 12 p.m. throughout the national territory and in the diaspora.
So he's inviting all of us to participate, which we are going to answer the call to participate for a minute of silence to tribute to those who have fallen. But as we say, We believe this is not very in line with just tribute. Like he says, this is a special day. So we ask people to be vigilant and people to avoid traveling. We ask people to avoid going to the market and to observe this day and stay at home and be on the safe side in case something massive is to happen in Cameroon on that day. And there may be nothing that happened as well. We want people to know that, but it's good to be on the side of caution in this case, especially
United in grief, but standing in dignity. This coming Friday, November 21, will not only be a tribute, it will be an act of resistance, a collective offering in memory of those who have fallen. Like the hero of 1955, those of May 26, 1990, or the uprisings of 2008, who never received a national recognition, the matters of this electoral crisis will enter the history of free Cameroon.
So what he says there is very important. He evoked the people who fought for independence. He evoked the people who fought for multipartism. We have a lot of people, especially in Bamenda and in Kumba, whose hands were cut off by grenade that was thrown during the days of John Fundi. Those people have been left on their own to suffer on the street and become beggars. Issa Tchiroma is saying the right thing, that these people will have their place in our history when the nation will honor them for the sacrifices they made for multipartism. One of the first person that was killed, it touches home, was my brother, my elder brother, who was an adopted family member from the village who was growing up with us in Bamenda. His name is called Chui, the very strong guy. He was the first blood that was spilled when SDF was created. He was shot on the stomach and his intestines split on the road in Liberty Square in Bamenda. We hope that heroes like that and many people like him who have been forgotten by history will have their rightful place in the history of Cameroon. Such acts are very important in the psychology of civil servants and police people on how they treat people who stand up for right of people. So this is highly welcome from Issa Tchiroma.
We thus present to the world an image of a united, dignified, and supportive people who yield neither to fear nor to electoral theft and do continue in honor to build the Republic of the sovereign people. A support fund for the victims will also be established.
So Issa Tchiroma, they say there will be a fundraiser. They will start a fund to raise funds for all the victims where they don't go through for this protest. And we don't know whether I could cover the past victims, some of them who are still in the street in Commercial Avenue de Bamenda, they're hanging around marketplaces, who suffered serious damage, bodily damages from protesting for SDF. We hope that it will cover everybody, and we will support these funds when these funds when they start this fund. I will personally be contributing and be raising fund also for the victims of this election fraud that has taken place in Cameroon. So let's continue. Just few minutes. I think 3 minutes. The speech will be over.
We will clarify the detail in due time. To all I say, this day unites us in sorrow, but also in the promise of a better tomorrow. A tomorrow where justice will replace impunity, where education, health, and infrastructure will be the priorities of a state reconciled with its mission. Our action to respect your will is grounded in a clear and structured plan.
So that is the key where he says there. Issa Tchiroma says, and I had written that on the ground, he says, our action to respect the will of Cameroon, the choice of Cameroon to choose him as a president, the actions that he is taking are all grounded in a clear, structured plan. And that is what we believe. We believe he's a credible person. He's a man of dignity. He's a man who we look at his life, look at his family. He has a beautiful family, well-educated kids. He's focused on values that we all share. The fact that he chooses Alice Nkom, a very good lawyer who stands for humanity, and a big heart, a woman that we love so much, shows us that this is somebody we can trust. We don't need to know all of his plan. We don't need to know everything. We don't expect him to tell us everything. But we believe Issa Tchiroma's heart is in the right place. And everything that he stands for is what majority of Cameroonians, according to our view, stands for and believe in. And so we believe that he has a plan, structured plan. We haven't seen it. We will continue to look for indications of this plan and see how things unfold, and we'll advise you accordingly. So our campaign for people to engage and political parties to engage in the coming elections, we have to reevaluate things in the light of this statement. But let us finish the 2 more minute part of the speech.
New instruction will be given in the day to come, aligning with our strategy of active and passive resistance. I state this firmly. I will not betray.
I will not betray.
I have received a clear mandate from the people to uphold the truth of the ballot box and to engage in the moral and political reconstruction of Cameroon. I decided to dedicate the rest of my life to fulfill this oath of loyalty to the Cameroonian people. The outgoing regime has chosen to swear on the Bible after stealing an election. This perjury seals its own end.
This perjury seals its own end. The regime, the outgoing regime, as you heard Issa Tchiroma calling the regime of Paul Biya, the CPDM regime, outgoing. So we expect that this regime will be going out. We will expect a structured plan from Issa Tchiroma to usher this regime out of power, so that the Cameroonian people's choice can rightfully sit in that place and implement the policy that he has articulated, which everybody celebrates. And we want to tell you, our people, that we are looking forward for how things unfold with optimism, with a lot of caution as well, because we know it is not an easy task given the dynamic of Cameroon. But one thing we know, Cameroon, their police them, their gendarme them, na 5 franc police them. If war start for Cameroon tomorrow, their police they will run past civilian them. Their police, the army, they will run past civilian them. It needs courage, it needs organization. I think we, the Bantu people, we don't know how to fight war. Ambazonians have shown us we don't know how to fight war. We have 1,000 generals and uncoordinated people. And it's difficult for people to get back arms from the voices, as you can see what is happening in Bamenda and in Kumba and in Boya. But we know that our Northeast brothers are more capable fighters. They have a history of conquering people. So we will see how things go on. We will follow things. We will advise accordingly. And we'll keep it real. Because as you know very well, this is the No Connie Talk Show. This is the No Connie Zone. We are keeping it real, keeping it pragmatic, and keep the faith. Keep the faith. Let's pray for Cameroon. God bless you all. Ciao.